that wasn't like a thing, you know? And so it's brought out some, sticky situations in the life. And then you add in, and I've been talking about this for a long time, that, when I grew up, I had to read a lot of comedy. I was a National Lampoon fan, and a Mad Magazine fan, and a Cracked fan. And so, reading sarcasm and reading comedy we were more conditioned to it once upon a time. We're now reading more than ever, and yet nobody seems to be able to pick up when somebody is being sarcastic. We're lost in the sauce of that a little bit, right? And, I've talked about how, you're not going to be received the way you think in your head as you put something in print. Not everybody's walking through your mind and what you were thinking before and after what you said. And, it leads to a lot of problems. So another way people communicate these days is not just by, words and text messages and, online messages and the like. It's also emojis, which I've been doing this long enough for a career. This makes me lucky, where I had to tell people what an emoji was. They were so new in my career. I was like, all right, for those of you that don't know, this is what an emoji is. I'm so old and have been doing this so long, I had to do that for what we used to call applications. And then when we started to use the abbreviation of apps, it was then all right, so when we say app, this is what we mean. We don't mean mozzarella sticks. This is what we mean. And I remember doing all of that, right? And so now, man, you look around, it's we all know this stuff, we all communicate this way. Older people who laughed at emojis now will use their favorite ones, and that's what we're going to talk about. There's a younger, I don't know if this is or not, I really don't know, but she looks like a young influencer. She has the right hairstyle. She has the right snow hat on when it's 90 degrees outside, and man, is she angry. So that seems like social media influencing to me these days. And she's upset about one of the emojis that people 40 plus will use. Let's find out if she's right about this.
Yo, I guess I'm gonna need to be the one to explain to all of the 40-year-old people and above, so 40 plus.
Watch now as I'm about to be ageist while I tell you that entire group of people is awful for what they do. You ready? I'm gonna take this time to be ageist while complaining about what they do to us. Won't this be fun? Let's sit down and get a lesson here.
Yo, I guess I'm gonna need to be the one to explain to all of the 40-year-old people and above, so 40 plus. Yo, you guys keep sending out these thumbs up emojis, and they look more like this.
Now, you know what she's doing there, right? She's now giving you the finger to the camera is what she's doing there.
And out these thumbs up emojis, and they look more like this to the Gen Z and millennials. Yo, we depict the thumbs up as a it's rude.
Okay, so she got one, that audio for some reason cut out, before she finished saying the word rude. But that's the end of the audio. How you receive something isn't my business or my responsibility. I say this all the time about what I say on the show. People will misconstrue what I've said. They will mishear. They will take the kids out of the car. They will say, "You said," ah! And I have to go back and say, "No, I didn't. What I said was this." And so through that happening to me for 20-some years, again, very blessed, what I have said is I am not responsible for what it is you hear. I'm responsible for what it is I have said. Those are wildly different things most times. It's remarkable to me how people who listen every day can know what my positions are, know what I think, but they'll misconstrue it all the time. Welcome to it, right? It's not their fault. It's just kind of life. People are busy, misunderstood this and that. But if somebody sends you a thumbs up emoji, and it's literally just meant all right, thumbs up, I understand what we're talking about here. You're fine. Now, do we use some of those emojis in passive-aggressive manner in communicating with one another? Well, I think we all know the answer. Yes. But do we also know that it's not just people 40 plus? Yes, we know that too. So what I would tell this young, angry person, and I gotta be honest with you, I think one steak might do it. I think one steak and you might not necessarily be this pissed off, young lady. I think one might do it. Little A1, you're gonna be fine, right? You're gonna be fine. I think what she needs to be reminded of is this. When the olds, you like how I say that, like I'm not in that group? You like that? Yeah, let me separate myself here. When we, the olds, start using your lingo, start using your terms, start using your emojis, we're accused of holding on to our youth. We're accused of not letting you have your own space to do things. Look at you trying. How do you do, fellow kids? That's what we're accused of. So do you want us saying lit and fam and sus? Like, do you want us talking like this or don't you? You all have the internet. You're all out there on your YouTube channels. Get together this afternoon, decide, and then let us know already.
You thought Stansbury was a mess on air? Check out the show's Facebook page at Stansbury Show. Rock 106.9.
9 a.m. this morning, the national anthem conversation in sports is back. This time with Major League Baseball. Now, they had embroiled themselves in that controversy a few years ago as well, but now we got a baseball manager out there with an edict for his team. So we'll open that up, and we'll do that later in the program. We had just given you this piece of audio. Some of you may have missed this, so let's run it again. There is a younger person out there yelling at the 40-plus people, I would be in that group, about our communication skills and working of the emojis back and forth with the people and what you send and what you don't send. And apparently, you and I, those of you that are 40 or older, are being passive-aggressive with some of the emojis, and I would have to admit sometimes I am. Well, here's what she had to say about it.
Yo, I guess I'm gonna need to be the one to explain to all of the 40-year-old people and above, so 40 plus. Yo, you guys keep sending out these thumbs up emojis, and they look more like this to the Gen Z and millennials.
So she's giving you the finger, right? She's saying that's how it's received.
Yo, we depict the thumbs up as a it's rude.
Okay, she goes on to say it's rude, and for some reason that audio cut out before she finishes that word. I apologize. And I was like, well, how you receive something isn't my responsibility. I'm responsible for what I've done, right? But now I talk about this a lot, where I'm like, be careful with what you're writing to people, because they're going to receive it within the mood they're in and what they think you're saying. It happened to me once, honestly, more than once. But I'll tell you a pretty good story about this. I have a daily listener. His name's Jeff. Jeff's a great guy. I've now had the chance to meet him more than one time. Great guy. It was early in the morning, and he wrote something in here, and I misunderstood it because it was early in the morning. I was trying to get everything ready, and you know what? I took his head off a little bit. That's my mistake. I received it in the wrong manner. That had nothing to do with Jeff. Long story short, I ended up finding out his daughter's a huge Kiss fan. I had some merchandise laying around the house. I was like, yo, man, I do actually feel really bad about that. Let me send you something. I'll send you a shirt. Like, I'm my bad. I'm sorry. Like, I'm usually better than that. I'm sorry. But, like, it can happen. Right? Like, of course it can. We can be misunderstood. We can be misunderstood while verbally speaking. I mean, I'm misunderstood all the time. You know, happens. Okay, fair. So a lot of people said, well, there's a major difference between the thumbs up and the middle finger. You know, Katie had said that. You know, there's a difference in those two things. I appreciate Katie being with us this morning. Jeremy also said, maybe it's just me. I happen to be one of those 40-plussers. But why would I send a thumbs up as a middle finger when I have the middle finger emoji to send? Because what the hell do I know? I've only been on the planet 41 plus years. You know what I mean? How the hell do I know what I'm talking about? Okay. So yes, that keyboard gives you the middle finger emoji. But it's not right for all forms. It's not right for everybody you communicate with. Much like in the corporate world, per my last email is, are you goddamned R-worded? I literally said it, laid it out in the previous email. That's what per my last email means. Just like kind of how bless your heart doesn't mean bless your heart. Bless your heart means get a load of this idiot, right? Like that's what that means. That's what bless your heart means. So there can be that. So what I'm assuming she's talking about is maybe work communication back and forth. Because we have to be honest about this. There are people you work with every day that you tell to go to hell.